including Singapore. All these pressures will reshape the global economy and dampen prospects for global growth. As a small and open economy, we will growth is projected at 1 to 3%, while inflation is expected to average 1.5% to 2.5%. But despite the uncertainties, we can look ahead with a degree of confidence. Singapore today is far stronger than we were 60 years ago. We have developed a strong and well-diversified economy supported by a highly skilled workforce. We have built up a robust SAS and a strong diplomatic network to uphold our sovereignty and security. We have forged a common Singapore identity, grounded in our shared values and experiences and our commitment to one another and our nation. This is the legacy of generations of Singaporeans, with each one race. The baton has now been passed, and it is our turn to take Singapore forward. This budget builds on previous budgets, not only to address today's challenges, but to plan ahead and secure Singapore's future. Budget 2025 is a budget for all Singaporeans. It's also a budget shaped together with all Singaporeans. It further advances our Forward Singapore agenda, which incorporates your aspirations and views and seeks to keep our society strong and united. In this budget, we will work with you to tackle cost pressures, advance our growth frontier, equip workers throughout life, build a sustainable city, nurture a caring and inclusive society, and rally as one united people. And I will go through each of these in turn. Let me start by addressing concerns over rising costs for both individuals and businesses. Global inflation rose sharply in 2022 following the outbreak of the war in Ukraine and remained high after that due to energy, food, and supply chain disruptions. Like many other countries, Singapore was impacted. That's why we've been providing additional support measures over the last 2 years to cushion the impact on Singaporeans. Last year, I enhanced the assurance package by $1.9 billion. The package has helped to fully offset the effects of inflation for lower-income households and to provide a significant cushion for middle-income households. We will continue to provide support for us as long as needed within our means. While inflation is expected to ease further this year, prices remain high. Singaporeans are still adjusting to these new price realities. Some have to tighten their belts, rethink spending habits, or make difficult trade-offs to manage their expenses. Therefore, in this budget, I will provide additional support for Singaporeans. First, I will provide $800 in CDC vouchers to every Singaporean household. The first $500 will be disbursed in May this year, and the remaining $300 will be disbursed in January next year. As with previous CDC vouchers, the half can be used at participating supermarkets, and the other half can be used at participating heartland merchants and hawkers. Second, I will provide additional USAVE rebates to help households cope with their utilities expenses. Eligible HDB households will receive up to $760 this financial year. This is double the amount of regular USAVE rebates. It will cover about 6 months of utilities expenses for those living in 1- and 2-room flats, and 3 months of utilities expenses for those living in 3- and 4-room flats. Third, I will provide more support to families with children. They will receive $500 in Life SG credits for each Singaporean child aged 12 and below this year. These credits are the same as the Life SG credits we gave to national servicemen last year, and parents can use them to defray their household expenses. Every Singaporean aged 13 to 20 this year will also receive a $500 top-up to their EduSave account or their post-secondary education account. They can use this top-up to pay for their approved education-related expenses. More support will be extended to individuals and families who face greater financial stress. We will increase the rates for the ComCare assistance schemes to better support lower-income households with basic living expenses. For example, a one-person household on long-term assistance will receive an additional $120 each month, bringing the monthly cash assistance to $760. Those supported by short to medium-term assistance will also receive more than before, based on the household's composition, needs, and income. In tandem, we will increase the Singapore allowance, which is an ex gratia payment that some of our pensioners receive. It will increase from $350 to $390 each month to support those with smaller pensions. And the monthly pension ceiling will also increase to $1,320. Through the ComCare Interim Assistance Scheme, we will provide more support for community organizations as well to help households in need. We are also paying close attention to public housing. We have ramped up our BTO supply decisively. Application rates for BTO flats have stabilized and are now well below pre-COVID levels. We will continue with the robust supply pipeline. Over the next 3 years, MND will launch more than 50,000 new flats in a wide range of locations, including in Woodlands, Bayshore, and Mount Pleasant. Last year, more than 8 in 10 first-timer families who collected keys to their BTO flats were able to service their monthly mortgage loans with little or zero out-of-pocket cash. To put in perspective, this is a level of affordability that residents in other major cities like London, Sydney, and Hong Kong do not enjoy. But we have been able to achieve this in Singapore, and we will continue to keep public housing affordable and accessible for all. Some Singaporeans prefer resale flats as they have shorter waiting times, but they are understandably concerned about the higher prices of resale flats. Our cooling and supply measures will eventually help to stabilize the resale market. Meanwhile, we will offer more options to home seekers who want their flats sooner. This year, HDB will launch around 3,800 flats with a waiting time of less than 3 years. This is about 20% of the full year's BTO supply. And we will continue to increase the supply of such flats in the coming years. HDB also launched the largest ever sale of balance flats exercise last week, with around 5,500 flats available island-wide, and it plans to hold another balance flat exercise later this year. Higher prices also affect our businesses, many of whom are grappling with the higher cost of rent and labor. So I will introduce a 50% corporate income tax rebate in the year of assessment 2025. Not all companies are profitable and some may not benefit from such a rebate. So I will provide every active company that employed at least one local employee last year a minimum benefit of $2,000. The total benefit that each company will receive will be capped at $40,000. Despite facing higher cost pressures, I'm glad that many businesses remain committed to uplifting the wages of lower wage workers. The government will continue to share this responsibility with employers. And taking into account feedback from their employers, I will enhance the progressive wage credit scheme by increasing the government's co-funding levels for wage increases from 30% in 2025 to 40%, and from 15% in 2026 to 20%. The measures we have taken in recent years and are taking in this budget will help to mitigate the impact of rising costs. But in the longer term, the best way to adjust to higher prices is to grow the economy and increase productivity so that all Singaporeans can enjoy higher real incomes and better standards of living. And let me turn to our strategies next in these areas.